Jacob, where in the world have you been?
Yeah, and yo, boy. Yeah, I was busy with the Olympics.
The Olympics?
Yes, quite, Andy. I'm trying to get them to let cricket back in the Olympics. It was a huge mistake to ever let it go.
So what did you do?
Yeah. I took my young moose team on a cricket tour to try and stir up some excitement.
Oh, well, how did you do that?
Yeah. I asked the local marching band to perform at each match. They had some good musicians. It really would get the whole community out to watch.
Really?
Yes. Andy, oh boy, everyone loves good music.
Well, Jacob, today Mary Manning and Taylor are going to talk to us about music. Let's listen.
Okay, so you say hey.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Can you tell everybody what special thing that happened to us today? What did we do today?
Went to my new classroom because I'm going into first grade.
That's right. We had Meet the Teacher Day at St. Andrews. And tell everybody what some of the places we visited. Where did you go?
To the chapel room, and I went to the music room.
And you went to the music room. And your teacher, do you remember her name?
Miss Menace?
Oh, that's your first grade teacher, but do you remember the music teacher's name?
No.
Miss Walker.
Miss Walker.
Do you remember what she said y'all are going to do in music?
Play some instruments.
Play instruments, and what else? What's the most important instrument? Your
voice.
You're going to get to sing, right? Very good. Well, in Paul's letter to the Ephesians, he talked about singing praises to God and how important it was to sing praises to God, which is why we still sing in church. Do you like to sing in church?
Mm-hmm.
I do too. It makes my heart happy to sing songs, especially songs in church. So I am going to read this book today called Gus and Me. Oh, are you singing already? Gus and Me, and it's by Keith Richards. And you can ask your mom and dad who Keith Richards is. And what do you know what all these are? They're what?
Music notes.
Music notes, that's right. Theodora Augustus Dupree lived with 7 daughters near the Seven Sisters Road in a house that was filled with instruments and cake. That sounds like a fun house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Theodora Augustus Dupree could play the piano and scrape the violin, blow the saxophone, and strum the guitar. He had been a soldier, a baker, and the leader of a dance band. But now Theodora Augustus Dupree was my granddad. Now he was Gus. There was nothing like visiting Gus. The closer to his house I'd get, the bigger my smile would grow. By the time I landed on his doorstep, I was all teeth. So what kind of a face is that if you're all teeth? Very
happy.
Yeah. He'd be waiting at the front door for me. Fix the sink, Gus, my grandmother would call out. Can't do, Emma, Gus would call back. Keith and I are going for a walk. He'd wink at me and whistle for Mr. Thompson Woofed, and our adventure would begin. We'd walk for miles. We'd walk through towns. We'd walk through the countryside. And Gus, he would hum every step of the way. He'd hum whole symphonies as we strolled from one village to the next. He'd hum funny little tunes as he wandered skinny streets and smoky alleys, marching songs as we tiptoed around foggy ponds and explored silent forests. With Gus, you had no idea where you would end up. One time, he led me all the way to the top of Primrose Hill to look at the night stars. "Don't know if we can make it home tonight," Gus said. So we slept under a tree on the top of the hill with the skylights above us and the city lights below. That's a nice memory. I like that. Once, Gus walked us all the way to London and into the workshop of a big store that sold, guess what?
What?
Instruments, like we saw on the wall today. "Let's just pop in here. I gotta pick up some strings." "Okay, Gus." Inside, it looked like a beehive. Gus lifted me up and sat me on a shelf so I could see everything. Violins hung from the ceiling by wires. Horns clung to the walls. Men in long brown coats fixed broken instruments and built new ones. I watched as they bent over cellos, trombones, and trumpets. They dabbed at the drums with glue and tapped at them with tiny hammers. Men tested the guitar strings, dink-a-plink, dink-a-plink, and the drums, duck, duck, bum, bum, duck, duck, bum, bum. Oh, goodness. My eyes followed a line of guitars that snaked all around the room on a conveyor belt, and in the middle of everything, big bubbling buckets of glue went blub, blub, blub. It was magic. I sat on that shelf watching it all, and right then and right there, I fell in love with instruments. When Gus and I got back to his house that day, I took a long look at that guitar that always sat on top of his piano. It seemed more beautiful than ever. All I wanted was to make the strings go dink-a-plink-a-plink like the men in the store, but I couldn't reach it. "When you're tall enough, you can have a go," Gus said. Every time I visited Gus, I reached for that guitar. Even on my toes, I couldn't touch it. One day, I felt like I was tall enough to grab it, but I didn't even try. Gus simply handed it to me. "All yours," he said. He sat with me, taught me how to hold it, strum it, pluck it. "When you learn how to play Malaguena," he told me, "you can play anything. Dink-a-plink-a-dink-a-plink-a-dink-a-plink." And I practiced that beautiful guitar. One day, Gus heard me playing Malaguena, and he nodded. And then he said something I'll never forget. "I think you're getting the hang of it." Even today, all these years later, I think of Gus every time I walk on stage, every time I write a song, every time I reach for a guitar and play a few dink-a-plinks for my own grandchildren. I say to myself, "Thanks, Grandad. Thanks, Gus." I love that story. Isn't that a good story? And then there's some pictures of him with his grandfather. I know that for us at our house, music brings us a lot of joy, doesn't it?
It brings me a lot of joy.
I know. Sometimes on the way to school, we listen to music and we play it really loud, and what do? Do we sing in the car? Sometimes we turn on Disney music on our TV and we dance around, right? That's right. And it brings us happiness and joy just like it does in church. So we're going to, hold on, we're going to have a little bit more joy, and we're going to sing a song. Well, you're going to sing a song. I don't sing very well. But I might sing. We'll sing. We're going to sing a song and see if it brings us some joy, okay?
And there's also a show about music.
Oh, yeah?
It's about a monkey, and his name is Tayon, and there was a man, and it's kind of with music, sort of.
Oh, a show about music, too. Yeah, I'm sure there are lots of shows about music, because music it's really special. It makes me happy. Makes me have all sorts of feelings. All right, so let's go get a friend that'll help us sing some songs.
Okay, so today we're going to sing a song.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to sing?
This Little Light of Mine.
Okay, let's do it.
this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
All right. What about, do you know, take this light around the world.
I'm gonna let it shine. Take this light all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it
Light around the
world. I'm gonna let it shine.
Let it
Shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Awesome. Thank you. Was that fun? Did that bring you joy? Brought me a lot of joy too. Maybe your mom and dad could play you a song, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or find you an instrument to learn to play. See y'all soon.
Andy, what is your favorite hymn?
Oh, Jacob, I have so many, it would be hard to say.
Yes. I thought it would be the one called In the Garden. You know, where it says, Andy walks with me and he talks with me.
Well, Jacob, actually, I like them all. I love to sing. My seminary dean always said, Christians sing. It is just a part of who we are. This week, maybe your parents can play for you some hymns or songs that bring you joy. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.